And so where I like to begin this conversation is without assuming that everyone understands what a charter school is. And so I start just with the definition of what charter schools are. First, it's important to understand that charter schools are a state-level policy phenomenon. That's significant because in the 40-plus states where we have charter schools, you should note that what a charter school is from state to state can vary quite significantly. We'll talk about a number of those different areas, but areas like admissions, like accountability, what those systems look like, what teachers can be hired, how teachers are held accountable, all of those things are defined very specifically at the state level. And so when we say charter school in Georgia, we may not be talking about the exact same thing as charter school in South Carolina or charter school in North Carolina. So we must be very clear. What I'm going to do tonight is talk a little bit about the specifics of what we mean by charter school in Kentucky. Talk about some of the things that we want to do. Charter schools are public schools in every sense of the word. And so sometimes you'll hear us use the terminology public charter schools, sometimes just charter schools, but truth be told, there's no such thing as a charter school that's not public. So if a school charges tuition for children to attend, then it is not a charter school, then it's a private school, it's an independent school. Charter schools are public schools, they are open enrollment, they are tuition free. The only children that attend charter schools are children whose parents apply for their children to attend charter schools, so nobody's going to be sent to a charter school against their will. Charter schools are non-sectarian, do not discriminate on the basis of religion or sexuality, ethnicity, race, any other category that you can come up with. They are publicly funded by local, state, and federal dollars in the same way that traditional public schools are funded from dollars coming from all of those sources. Public charter schools are funded in the exact same way. One of the criticisms of charter schools that we hear leveled quite a bit, and I'm sure we'll have conversation about it today, is that they rob traditional public schools of funding. And that's not true. If we are going to charge that anyone robs traditional public schools of funding, maybe we could say it's parents. Because the only way a child gets into a charter school is if a parent chooses to take him or her out of a traditional public school and send them to a charter school. And then the funds that the state sends to that traditional public school follows the kid to the charter school. But that's no different than a kid leaving Jefferson County Public Schools and going to Oldham County Schools. The funds that originally went to Oldham, they would now go to, originally went to Jefferson, those funds would now go to Oldham. And then public charter schools are held accountable to state and federal academic standards as well. The theory behind charter schools is that they're given a greater degree of flexibility for an increased amount of performance accountability. Okay, so charter schools are held to higher standards, and of course understanding that this varies significantly across states and what this looks like. We'll talk about Kentucky, but theoretically charter schools are held to a higher standard, and in exchange for those performance standards, for meeting those performance standards, they're given the freedom, the flexibility, the autonomy to reach those standards.